We're back. Another Tuesday up on 643 Talk, June 24th.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks for the koozie.
The Sox koozie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just telling Luke how I'll always be a Cardinals fan, but I root for the White Sox and the Rays. I like the Rays a little bit, so. But yeah, man, the White Sox. We'll be mentioning them a little bit today.
Yep.
But before we do, June 24th, a little throwback. And I think you have one too, right?
Yeah.
Let's see if we got the same one. There's a few good ones on this day.
There was. You could probably guess which one I had though, if
I mean, if I had a guess, is it the Ricky Henderson one?
yeah. Now, also, what was it? Harmon Killebrew. Did you have
Yeah.
that one?
No, but I did see that.
Yeah,
Which
his
is really
first
cool.
career home run was on this day. And then,
Yeah.
did you have Ricky Henderson too?
No, so the one that I have actually happened in 1994. And I'm using this one because he was one of my favorite players growing up. And when I played Little League Baseball, I even tried to take his stance, but it was too squatted down for me. Do you know where I'm getting at yet? A really low stance to the ground. I mean,
I mean, I'm gonna take a guess at Jeff Bagwell.
Jeff Bagwell, yeah. So one of my favorite players, but he became Jeff Bagwell at the Astros, became the 28th player to hit 2 home runs in 1 inning when he connects twice in the 6th inning against the Dodgers. Bagwell adds another home run in the 8th. So 2 home runs in the same inning and another home run, 3 home run game for Bagwell against the Dodgers, which always makes it better. But I figure that was worth mentioning just because he was part of that Killer Bee club. So
Yeah.
yeah. So Bagwell, Berkman, and Biggio.
And then in 04, Beltron to that list.
And who?
Beltron in
Oh, and
04 to that Killer Bees.
Yeah, the Killer Bees of Beltron. That's right. Was Berkman a
Yeah.
part of that?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
It was a later 90s whenever he came into the league.
Yeah.
And
But yeah.
then,
What's yours?
well, with Bagwell and MLB The Show and my road to the shows when I have you guys in there, that's Nick stances. I use Jeff Bagwell for Nick stance. Kind of seems like that's a stand for some reason he would go with.
I feel like it would be.
Yeah. All right. So on this day in 1979, one of my all-time favorite players ever, Ricky Henderson, makes his MLB debut against the Texas Rangers. He went 2 for 4 in that game with a run scored, and no shock to anybody, but a stolen base as well.
Mm-hmm.
King of stolen bases.
Yes, he is.
Man of Steel.
Yeah, well, that guy, can't believe he passed away. That's like the saddest thing, man. Ricky Henderson.
And I think it's really cool that they're using Ricky Henderson patches this year for PAs.
Kind of a crazy time too that he did pass away. Just how the A's, the direction they just took, But yeah, one of the best to ever do it. Speaking of steals, I want to say maybe another one that happened today is either the 23rd or 24th. And you may have seen this too, but it was Jackie Robinson's first time ever stealing home plate.
Yeah,
which tells you if they had that on there, it's like he must have stolen home plate quite a bit of times. I don't know the exact number, but it is pretty cool that today was the day, I believe.
Yep.
What do you have next?
Yeah, I just kind of wanted to go into a little fantasy recap last week. It was I don't know.
Yeah.
It was you know how this went for me.
Yeah, I thought you had it. So, you were in a good spot pretty much all week, and then I had them to look, and you were down really close. I mean, everything was really close, but
yeah. So I was on a 3-week winning streak, and I almost had a 4. And to be fair, I think he's in second place.
Yeah.
Isn't Nathan in second or third?
Pretty sure, yeah.
2, yeah. So I took the loss, won 5 categories, lost 6, tied 1, and his last at bat Sunday night is when he got me. He
Yeah.
scored a run to tie me and run scored, and that's what
Yep.
did it.
It happens
That's
like that, you know.
yeah. And what's ironic is we're going to talk about him later in this video, but CJ Abrams, yeah, he was his last batter and he scored a run to tie me at 34. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so like I said, runs was a tie 34. I took the win in home runs at 14
Mm-hmm.
and RBIs at 38. Took the win on strikeouts with 68. Wins on quality starts 6. And then I took the win in holds with 5.
Yeah.
So I was up 9 categories to 3. But also, to be fair, that was before because he didn't have a ton of starting pitchers. He only had like
Mm-hmm.
6 or 7. So that was
Yeah.
before his ERA and WHIP came in.
Yeah.
I already knew I was going to be down because he was leading me in both those categories. He just didn't have enough starts yet. So I knew I was going to be 7-5, and I was hoping that's what I was going to win by. I
Yeah.
definitely would have taken that. I mean, it's not like I lost. I only lost technically one. I mean, I
Yeah.
gained 5. Yeah, so it's not a tough loss. I mean, it's almost a tie against one of the best teams, but whenever you're in the lead for most of the week up until that point and how it ended, yeah,
It's tough.
yeah.
Yeah, I my situation this week was kind of similar. Um, I faced Josh, and he's one of the better teams in the league, but he has been slowing down lately, which he did last year. He started off like the first or second best team, pretty much to All Star break, and then his stats just tumbled after that. And mine did the opposite. I basically stumbled up until All Star break, and then I went to the championship. I just couldn't stop winning. Um, But that's what I've been doing lately. Both of us have been winning a little bit, and we're at the bottom of the bracket too. So it's nice to get those big dubs in against good teams. But yeah, I
Yeah.
ended up beating Josh 7-5, and it really came down. It was kind of nerve wracking. I knew I had him beat in certain categories in pitching, and think same for me. I think I only had like 7 pitchers ago, which sometimes it might be a better thing because if you have 10, 11 pitchers, well, if they all give up a few runs, then your ERA is going to be stuck up there in the 3s or 4s. But all of my pitch out of my 7 pitchers, I had maybe just at a 3 ERA, maybe even a little. I don't know if it was in the 2s or not, but it was one of my better weeks at pitching. It might have been in the 2s, and then I think it was like a 1 dot WHIP, which is also really good. Um, but it really came down to the offense because we were tied. He had me in average and OPS, and I knew that I wasn't going to catch up to that. But we were tied with home runs and RBIs, and we kept bouncing back and forth on the last day. And Logan O'Hoppe hit a home run for him. It was like back to back games too. I'm like, this guy, man, like Logan O'Hoppe just won it for him. Put Josh ahead of me by 1 home run and like 2 RBIs, and it was late. Like it was later in the day. And then my boy Max Muncy came through and had a two
What a
dinger
game.
game. Yeah, I think one was a grand slam, then he hit like a 3 run shot or something. 7 RBIs from Max Muncy, 2 home runs, put me a lead of that home run category and RBI category, and sealed the deal for me. So super thankful for Max Muncy and his bat, man. Ever since I picked him up, I mean, I only picked him up because he obviously found his swing again. He started off real slow, but he's smacking the ball lately. So this week, though, I'm playing the best team, playing Andrew's team. He's pretty much unbeatable this season, but he did just lose Corbin Carroll, so that does help me a little bit. Um, but yeah, he also has Bailey Ober, which had a horrible start yesterday, letting up 7 runs, which is really good for me when it comes to pitching because I'm kind of struggling with pitching this week. I think I'm only at like 6 or 7 starts, and I'll get to one of those pitchers later on, or I guess
Yeah.
here shortly when we do breakouts.
Yeah, I think what's crazy about Andrew's team is that a few of his players that are doing good, it's like they're more just having breakout seasons. We weren't really
Yeah,
expecting
yeah.
like Pete Crow Armstrong, and then
Who expected that?
I know Eugenio Suarez,
Yeah.
Is
Which,
getting a lot of
yeah.
home runs.
Yeah.
Trey Turner, even though that we expect Trey Turner to be good, but he's actually doing a lot better than I expected so
Yeah.
far. And
And Jeremy
yeah,
Pena.
he's yeah, I
He's got
know
Jeremy,
that's
and Jeremy
and
Pena's
then
been going off. He's got Harper. He's got a great team. Seiya
yeah,
Suzuki. I mean, he
who
does have a
also
great.
is Seiya Suzuki's also been pretty surprising with the amount of
Yeah.
RBIs he's put up. And then he also traded for Juan Soto, who's been struggling. It just so happens that as soon as he trades for him and Juan or Jeremy Pena, they've
Yeah.
been raking. So
Yeah.
he's
His
got a
team.
pretty good team.
He definitely has the best offense in my opinion this year. The only thing that's going to keep him. I mean, he's not going to miss playoffs, obviously. The only thing that I think keeps him out of the championship is injuries. Always, he does kind of have a somewhat injury prone team. Um, but I'm not a fan of his pitching. He's got a few good arms, but um, that's what's going to hurt him in the categories is his pitching. So other than that, though, I think it's the Jedi Warriors. He's got a good squad, and I got to play
Yeah,
him this week, so I'm just trying to get it over with. And if I
yeah,
win, whew, that's going to feel really good.
yeah. That'll definitely give you some hope.
Yeah, yeah,
So, and I know we've been playing a lot better. We gotten off the slow starts.
yeah,
There's three teams in our league that have been kind of slowing down a bit.
yep.
That kind of started out really good. So I'm thinking we could kind of take advantage of that.
Yeah, because if you really
So
go in and look at some of the guys that are top six, and you go in and you look at their teams, like they're really spotty. And there's a couple teams in there like um I forget, I don't know if it's Grissom or whose team, Matt, but
yeah, that's who I was thinking. Like,
whoever's got Yamamoto and Skeens, their pitching is nice. Joe Ryan, I believe they have. But when you look at their offense, it's like, it looks like he picked up his whole offense off waivers. So
yeah, with
that's why I don't see them going too far. And all it takes, if you lose one of those arms, if you lose Skeens or Yamamoto, then you're really screwed. So
yeah, with all due respect to those guys, yeah, Matt and Dylan. Matt's got some pretty decent pitching.
yeah,
He's got a few arms that are hurt though right now.
yeah,
And his offense, other than I know he has Gunnar Henderson and Jazz. I've been trying to get Gunnar Henderson from him, and it's been tough. But a lot of his hitters, he's got some prospects who that some of them he gotten from me, but just really haven't clicked or they're hurt. So I kind of expect like Dylan and Matt to slow down a bit. I
yeah,
don't know, I could be wrong, but
yeah. I agree.
and then it's kind of like a what the heck is Chris's team.
Yeah,
Like the most inactive guy that just so happens his team is going off for him. It's
he's got some good players for sure, but yeah,
whenever he
it's
started the
unfortunate.
season, he had like Ketel Marte hurt, Ronald Acuna hurt, Jordan Alvarez hurt, and then he
Yeah,
started to get some of them back. And
all of them
yeah,
together, he's got a pretty solid squad.
yeah,
But you want to move on to breakout players?
yeah. Do you want to start us off?
Yeah, I'll go first. So I'll start it with a breakout pitcher, and this guy he was drafted in 2015, a first rounder by the Atlanta Braves. Hotlanta. His nickname's Rock. Standing at 6'5", 250. Only he's 27 years old, so he's still got a lot of gas left in the tank. Michael Soroka. He's having what seems to be hopefully his breakout year. I did pick this guy up in fantasy. Um, when you look at his ERA is still at 5, so it's pretty ugly. The reason I did pick him up is I went and checked out his baseball savant, saw a lot of red forming in, and I just couldn't help myself. But his last 39 innings pitched, which is his last 7 games, he has been kind of rough. 20 earned runs, only a 1.02 whip, so not bad there. But strikeout rate looks good, 44 to 39. Um, but his last 2 games, um, or his last game, I don't know if you caught, but he faced the Dodgers, and
Mhm.
he made it 5 1/3 innings, 2 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 walks, and 10 Ks. So anytime you could strike out the Dodgers 10 times, I think you had yourself a pretty good game. The game before that, 6 innings pitched, 3 earned runs, 9 Ks, 5 hits, 2 walks. So a quality start there. It was against the Rockies, but still, he showed that he can go deep in those innings and get that quality start. So 19 Ks in his last two two outings total, compared to 4 walks. So that's pretty good. I did pick him up this week. He's facing the Angels, so we'll see how it goes. But if he has another good outing, another 6 innings, and shows his high K rate that he does have in there, I think it'll be a pretty good pick. If he goes in there and lets up 6 earned runs, scratch what I said. He's not breaking out. He's just going to be that spotty pitcher. But just to see him go and do what he did these last 2 games has been really impressive. Again, especially from the striking out the Dodgers that many times, in LA as well. So my breakout hitter, though, another fantasy player of mine, the Queen City Bandits. That's Miguel Vargas. So we know Miguel Vargas' story. He's bounced around from the Dodgers, never really got the full opportunity to play there. As we know, the Dodgers just have complete veteran all-stars on their team, so there's not really working your way in there unless somebody gets hurt. And then times that he did get up, he was just pretty sloppy. But he seems like this might be his breakout year. His last 7 games, last 28 at-bats, average doesn't look good. He actually really hasn't been that great this past week. Before that, the games leading up to this is really why I chose him to be my breakout player. He's hitting 260 in the last 15 games, slugging 517 with 2 home runs, 8 RBIs. And that's in 58 at bats. So if you go in and you look at his game logs, he's really been hitting the ball consistently just about every game. Like I said, his last few games haven't been that great. His last week, and he didn't have some monster week, but he is, in my opinion, he's kind of turning into what he was supposed to be. Not saying he will be, because I don't know if you ever saw his AAA stats, but he would hit like 314, slugged 600. I don't know, some crazy stats. So that's why his talent was looked at so differently. But it's only 25, so I say give it another couple weeks, see where Miguel Vargas is at then, and if he keeps getting better and better, I think he's found his way. And if it kind of starts going back down, I think he's just going to be another spotty player. So Soroka and Vargas, that's my 2.
All right, I like him. And if Miguel Vargas really breaks out, you're welcome.
Yeah, you did help me with that. So
yeah,
who was it between? I said I was going to pick up Vargas or who?
Ryan O'Hearn, who's also been having a decent season.
Yeah, he is.
But he doesn't really play every day. Vargas just gets more bats right now. So
yeah.
All right. So my breakout players, to start with my hitter, it was really hard. I mean, there were some really good choices to go with this week. So it was kind of hard not to. It was kind of hard not to go with Cal Raleigh.
Yeah,
I mean, this guy has been ridiculous this season. And 25 at bats in the past week, home runs, 14 RBIs. He's also had 2 stolen bases, batting .480 with a 1.816 OPS.
How many home runs did you say?
Just in the 6 in the last 7 days.
Wow.
So, and I believe just like over the weekend at Wrigley Field alone, he had like 4 of them.
Jeez.
Something like that. Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, dude's MVP status right now. I hope he keeps it going.
Yeah, and then my pitcher, also a Seattle Mariner, Brian Wu. This guy, we've kind of always known his potential. We talked about it because whenever he's healthy, he's been really good. So in the last 13 innings pitched, he's got 2 wins, 2 quality starts. ERA is 1.38 with a 0.77 WHIP with 15 strikeouts.
Monster.
So Brian Wu, he right now is the ace in my opinion.
Yeah.
Logan Gilbert, he was hurt. I don't. Did he make his first start since being hurt? I think he
Yeah,
did.
he did.
Okay.
And he struck out quite a bit too, from what I remember.
Yeah. So in my opinion, as of since Gilbert went down, he's been the ace in my opinion. So,
Yeah.
but they have like 3 or 4 different guys who could be aces on any team. So
Yeah.
good for Seattle.
Yeah. Seattle's pitching is still top notch.
Yeah.
Speaking of pitchers, one big name prospect, another former former first round pick, second overall, Chase Burns gets the call, making his way up fast. Only pitched in 66 innings his whole time in the minors. In those 66 innings, he had 89 strikeouts, a 1.77 ERA, 0.77 WHIP, and a 7-3 win loss record, which I think is worth mentioning. He's 22 years old. I remember this guy just getting preached about, when he was in college, and I think he's here. So he gets his first start tonight against the Yankees. Kind of a crazy matchup for your first ever MLB start, especially when you've only pitched 66 innings. But I don't think that's gonna bother him any. I think he's gonna go in there and do what he does, man. That dude's talented. And I wish I would have picked him up in fantasy. I know he was scooped up already, but
Yeah. You think Aaron Judge is going yard?
Aaron Judge might go yard on him, but
Maybe. Yeah.
I don't think many others will.
Right. I feel like in my major league debut, if I have a decent start and the only home run I give up to is Aaron Judge, I think I'll be all right.
Yeah.
So
He's given up 5 home runs in 13 games, so I mean, not bad at all.
no.
Not really a home run guy. Um, Another pitcher I'll bring up real quick is on the winning champions of the College World Series, LSU Tigers. They ended up beating Coastal Carolina in the 2 out of 3 games back to back. I watched the whole first game, and I watched a little bit of the second game. I didn't get to see much of it, but watched the whole first game. I'm glad I did because they had left-handed Cade Anderson, and that guy is nasty. Don't know if you got to see much highlights from him. He was at like 130 something pitches whenever I was when I was watching him closing out the game. He went the complete game, and I don't even remember how many Ks he had. I thought I had it here, but uh, yeah, I thought it was here, but let's see. Oh, he had 10 Ks that game against Coastal Carolina, so it was a nice game to tune into. Um, his career stats at LSU: 157 and a third innings pitched, a 3.38 ERA. Which had a 3.18 ERA this past season. I was trying to see that they have their site set up a little bit weird on here, but 239 strikeouts in 157 innings. So that's super nice. 55 walks. So beautiful walk record. 129 hits in those 157 innings. So that's also really impressive.
Yeah.
I think this guy's going first round, no doubt. No doubt. He might even be with his buddy Skeens on the Pirates, depending on how their season finishes.
Skeens, Chandler, Anderson.
Yeah. And Jones. Jones will be back next
Oh,
season.
yeah. Jared Jones. Yep.
Yeah. But congrats to the LSU Tigers. Another
Yeah.
championship for them.
Was that 2 and 3 years?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nice.
What do you have for us next?
Right. So I told you that we were kind of be talking about CJ Abrams again later in the video.
Uh,
The reason why is because the Washington Nationals are in San Diego currently. So last night, so if you guys don't remember, there was a trade that happened a few years ago. You remember this trade?
oh yeah, one of
And
the.
just to refresh everybody's memory, I'll put it up on screen right here. Does that look familiar?
That's the one right there. Luke Voigt, though. Miss that
Oh my
guy.
god.
He's still
Yeah,
playing independent league somewhere.
yeah.
But
So this trade, if you notice, we got so I think four of these guys are on the Nationals roster. Actually, five technically, if you count Josh Bell, who was traded to the Padres, and now the Nationals have him back.
yeah,
So I think Robert Hassel's still up, but yeah, we got Mackenzie Gore, who I'd have to look to see if he's pitching in the series. I'm not sure, but
ooh,
anyway, CJ
that'd be
Abrams
cool.
and James Wood were in the lineup last night,
Yeah,
and some stats in their first game going up against their former organization. James Wood went 3 for 5 with a home run and 4 RBIs. CJ Abrams also 3 for 5, scored 3 runs and had a stolen base. So those two just in the first game in San Diego. I mean,
beast.
crazy games.
Yeah,
So
man, I could
kind of
imagine if the Padres still had, if they had Jackson Merrill, Tatis, and Wood in the outfield, and then Abrams at short, Gore added to the rotation. They
maybe
lost some players.
maybe save some money not signing Bogarts to that long deal, using
Yeah,
that somewhere else.
yeah,
Yeah, the Padres may have won the World Series last year
yep.
or
If
this
they
year.
had, if they had their squad, if they had those guys on their squad now, and the way that they've developed, and maybe it would change if they're in the Padres organization. Maybe they developed really, really well with the Nationals, but
Yeah,
yeah, Nationals lost some good ball players there, or Padres lost some good ball players, and then not
yeah.
to even have Soto anymore, like to just have him for a season, it's like L. Like I'd be pissed if I was a Padres fan. We're Cardinals fans, so we have our own things to be mad about. But something like that, ouch.
That's more of like a Sandy Alcantara, Zach Gallen, Randy Rosarena, like
Yeah,
always Garcia or
yeah,
Garcia type thing
yeah, for
a
sure.
little bit. Honestly, I'd be more pissed about this one though, in my opinion.
Yeah, to see where those guys are at now, for sure.
Yeah. And then, the San Diego Padres, this isn't really something that's new with them trading prospects. And I
Hmm.
remember back in 2015, before that season started, they traded for like Justin Upton, Craig Kimbrell,
Yeah.
BJ Upton. They ended up trading away somebody else to the Nationals, Trey Turner, when
Hmm.
he got his career started. And that was kind of a guy in the Padres organization that could have made a big impact, could still be on the
Yep.
Padres to this day. But
Yep.
I don't know, it kind of goes to show that, you might be excited to acquire a guy like Juan Soto, and you're just kind of like, I don't care who they trade. We need to get Juan Soto.
Yeah. It's
And
crazy.
yeah, sometimes you just don't know who you're trading.
Yeah. Insane. Um, what do you have next?
Well, unless you have something else, which I believe you do, I just have my crazy Major League Baseball stat.
All right. You ready?
Yeah.
So this is a guess that player.
Mm.
This guy was born in 1983. So he didn't a little bit older. He made his debut 2005. Right-handed, bat and throw. 6,349 at bats, 1,049 runs, 1,834 hits, 271 home runs, 917 RBIs, 281 stolen bases. He hit 289 with a 360 OBP and an 846 OPS. So, menace on the bases, pitcher's nightmare, basically. He made his debut with Boston in only 2 games, and then he was traded to Florida, where he spent 2006 to 2012.
Yeah. I'll let you finish though. But
He
yeah,
then moved. He got traded to LA, back to Boston, finishing his career in Cleveland. Wait,
that is.
wait.
Oh, oh. All
Let
right.
me throw out his awards real quick just to give him some credit.
Yeah.
3-time NL All Star, 2-time NL Silver Slugger, Home Run Derby participant, and Jackie Robinson NL Rookie of the Year. Marlins Rookie of the Year. Marlins MVP 3-time. Luke, who is that player?
The one and only Hanley Ramirez.
I didn't even have to tell you
Yeah.
what position he played.
No, it was,
Shortstop, by
you
the way,
know,
for those who don't
yeah,
know.
I was trying to figure out 2005. I had a couple players, and then once you said only 2 games in Boston, then he was straight, I knew immediately it was Hanley Ramirez.
Yeah,
He made his he made his debut with the Red Sox in Tampa Bay, and there's really, if you go on his Red Sox highlights from just those 2 games, the only thing I can really find is just that game that he started in his major league debut.
yeah.
So it's, but I
That
mean, he
guy was
was
just amazing to
insane
watch,
in
man.
Florida.
Yeah, he. I was trying to find his best year.
I
So
know he had a
he
crazy year in like basically from like 2006 to 2009 were like his
yeah
best years, and then
he had
uh,
292 in 06, 332 in 07, 301 in 08, 342 in 09, 300 in 2010, and then from there he kind of starts dropping down to the 250s. So
yeah, I think as
that's
his career went on at that point, he kind of started hitting a little bit more home runs, kind of had a bit more pop than average,
yeah,
like when he was with
he
the
did.
Dodgers and Red Sox.
Yeah, he did have a couple 30 home run seasons, 30, 33, and a 29. I mean, yeah, he definitely had some pop. Couple
Yeah,
100 RBI seasons.
you kind of see that with a couple of players that I remember. Like they'll kind of start out their career not hitting as many home runs. Then
Yeah,
as their career goes on, they're kind of more power hitters. Like, Jimmy Rollins was kind of one of
yeah,
those guys, and Curtis Granderson, who
yep.
kind of were more of like speedy average guys. And then later in their career, they start hitting more home runs.
He stole a lot of bases, man. He had a
Oh yeah,
251 stolen base back to back years, and then 35, 27, 32. He had a 212 hit year. So he was, if you haven't seen highlights of Hanley Ramirez, go check him out because that dude was super fun to watch.
yeah.
But good job, Luke.
And shout out to his 3 home run game against the Giants when he was with the Red Sox. If you guys haven't seen highlights of that one, you should. It's pretty entertaining.
Yeah, I'm sure you made a video, right?
I of Hanley Ramirez, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's hear that crazy MLB stat.
All right, that's sort of a trivia question though, too, for you.
Oof, I'm
Do
not
you
good at
know who
trivia.
the only player in Major League history? Well, it's the only time in history that's happened, but do you know the only player in a Major League history that ended the World Series on a bunt?
Mm. What was the time frame?
Um, it was the '90s. That's what I'll give you.
Um,
So you can possibly guess on which. There was a couple of teams who dominated the '90s. So it may or may not be one of those teams.
uh, I don't know. I suck at 90s. Even though I'm 90s baby, I'm not good at trivia in the 90s.
All right, so in the '92 World Series, the Atlanta Braves and Toronto Blue
Mm.
Jays,
Okay, that makes sense.
in Game 6, Otis Nixon became the only player in Major League history to end the World Series on a bunt. It's the only
Would have
time
not have
it's
guessed
happened.
that.
It was a bunt attempt, and it was fielded by Joe Carter, who the next year hit the big walk off home run to
Nice.
win the World Series. which I'll save that crazy stat for another time with Joe Carter.
Sounds good.
But yeah, it's kind of crazy. You think about the amount of World Series that have been. That's the only time where a bunt attempt has been made for the last out, which it really shouldn't if you think about it. It really shouldn't. It's really kind of dumb, I guess, when you think about it. I mean,
Yeah.
it's the last out before your team loses the World Series and you try a bunt attempt. I mean, I get if you're a really fast guy, but I mean, come on.
Yeah.
You got to swing the bat.
It's a rough way to go out for sure.
Yeah.
But all right. Well, I think that's all we have.
Yes, it is.
Until next time on 643.
I'm Luke.
I'm Vinny. Peace.